Hi guys, it is tapas time and I have been reading all about the top 5 tapas bars in Barcelona from the Times and the Sunday Times Insider City Guides, which has inspired me to show you my 3 favorite tapas recipes. We're doing a Spanish tortilla, we're doing beautiful roast almonds with rosemary, and a very quick and delicious chorizo braised in red wine. To start off in the pan, I've got some slices of potatoes. I've just thinly sliced these, they do need to be thinly sliced. I've also got some onion and some garlic. So a little bit of oil. Once that oil is nice and hot, I'm going straight in there with our potatoes. We've also got some onions going in and a little touch of garlic. Now, it is a bit weird to put the potatoes, the onion and the garlic all in one go, but just toss them in that oil. We're going to season them up with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Okay, these are nicely coated now, so just turn down that heat. I'm going to stick a lid on these. And now, while that's cooking away, we're gonna crack on with our second tapas dish, which is some roast almonds. I'm gonna chop up some rosemary. I have a few sprigs of rosemary here. You want a nice fine chop on the rosemary here. Just stick them straight into the tray, sprinkled over the top. We're also gonna add in about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a little drizzle of some olive oil, and get your hands in there and just toss them all up, just until they're nicely coated. And one thing I have forgotten at this point is a tiny touch of salt. Okay, these are now ready to go into the oven. You want to cook them at 200 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes, just until they're toasted, and you'll actually smell that wonderful nutty smell around the kitchen, and then you'll know they're done. Right, nuts are in the oven. We've got our potatoes cooking away here, and they're looking actually pretty good. I thought they were going to take a little longer, so I'm just going to give it one more blast with the lid on. And we're gonna get cracking with our third recipe. This is chorizo braised in red wine. It is as simple as that. Into a frying pan, we're gonna add a little touch of oil. You don't need too much because the chorizo is quite oily itself. To that, we're adding in some garlic and some shallots, and I'm gonna add the shallots in first. And you wanna fry these down just until they become soft, and then we're gonna go in there with our chorizo. Actually, I think my potatoes are done, so I'm gonna take them off the heat, set them over here. These have softened down nicely, so I'm going to get straight in there with some chorizo, and I've just cut these into little chunks. Give them a quick stir through. We're going to get in there with some spice. So I've got some smoked paprika, which kind of echoes the flavor that's already in there, so just sprinkle that over the top. I'm going to give it a little stir through just to coat, and we're also going to add in some honey. So a generous tablespoon of honey going in here. And then it's time for our red wine. Some really good quality red wine. Whatever you're drinking, get in the pan here. So at this point, we're gonna make up our Spanish tortilla. We have 6 large free-range eggs. Give them a good whisk up. You want them just to be combined, and I'm also gonna season them with a tiny touch of salt and pepper. Now, this is my basic Spanish tortilla recipe. There's lots of variations you can do, but I'm actually gonna use some roasted red peppers and put them straight into this mixture. We're also gonna go straight in there with our potatoes. And the beauty of this is just how quick it all comes together. And you do need to work fast because you don't want the potatoes to start cooking the eggs. And a lovely addition in here is some flat leaf parsley. So I'm just gonna pick off a little bunch here and tear in those leaves. So once all those potatoes are nicely coated in that eggy mixture, it's time to get it straight into that pan. Just spread it evenly across the base. Make sure that you get a nice even top. I also need to keep my eye on this beautiful chorizo mixture that's going on here. Wow, look how that red wine has reduced right down. You've got this really sweet and sticky mixture. I'm gonna stick in some chickpeas in to toss through all that wonderful flavor. But first things first, let's get this tortilla into the oven. The nuts are looking good and they're nearly done, but the last little thing I need to do to my chorizo is put in some chickpeas. I've got about half a tin of chickpeas going in here. That should do me. And I'm also going in there with some chopped flat leaf parsley. So just a good handful of this. Rattle the knife through it just until you have nice little fine bits. Stick it over the top. Give that a stir through, and you just want your chickpeas to be heated through and to take on all that wonderful flavor of the chorizo and the red wine. So this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna tumble this out into little serving dishes, but before I do, I'm gonna grab my nuts from the oven. They look pretty good. And this is what it's all about. We've got wonderful puffed up golden nuts, and these are so delicious with a glass of red wine. So I'm gonna transfer these out into little serving dishes. So we've got nuts, we've also got our chorizo going on, which is actually good to go. So I'm gonna pop this in a little bowl here. And these are gonna be so, so tasty. Finish it off with a little bit of parsley over the top, and we've got 2 brilliant tapas recipes good to go. Our Spanish tortilla is about to come out of the oven. We've also got some great Spanish produce. So I've got some manchego cheese and some pata negra. So drape these around the board. Basically, I'm creating a little board that is filled with all these wonderful tastes and flavors of Spain. And now we just need to grab out our Spanish tortilla and serve it up. And that, my friends, is a serious tapas feast. The best part now is that you get to eat it all. So I'm gonna try some of that beautiful chorizo and chickpea action. You know what? If you've never had chorizo, this is the dish to try it in. It's sweet, it's sticky, it is so delicious, and the chickpeas actually kind of give it an earthy balance in there as well, alongside that fresh hit from the parsley. Let's go for a little bit of this Spanish tortilla. Just as good as the ones I've tried in Spain. Really simple flavors, but it works alongside all these other strong flavors that are going on in here. I'm gonna grab up some nuts. Really, really good. Bit of ham and a bit of cheese. So, so good. That, my friends, is a proper Spanish tapas feast. Throw in a few cocktail sticks, a few little teaspoons. I'm also going to drizzle with a tiny touch of honey over that ham and the cheese. This is so good.